Okay, everybody, hopefully you can see and hear me. I am actually testing out to see if my cameras work, and it looks like that they do. So I will give everybody a few more minutes to join. I'm so sorry. I am not sure exactly what happened, but it appears we had some technical difficulties, so we will just try again. Yep, we're going to try it again, Kim. Let me know if you can see and hear me. I unplugged everything and I rebooted everything, so hopefully it works. It looks like my overhead is working, at least for me. So let me know if you can see and hear me, and we will just give it a few more minutes. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened, but I went ahead and I just unplugged everything and rebooted it and started it back, and it looks like my cameras are now working. So I'm happy. I am happy about that. So we're gonna start 30 minutes later than we scheduled. Good thing I scheduled this early this morning. So we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna let everybody, come back and rejoin. And let's see if we can get this going. So let's just chit chat for a minute here while people rejoin the live. I was saying earlier, I will be going, doing my Sunday afternoon crafting tomorrow. I was going to have it canceled, but I mixed up my days. It's actually next Sunday I need to work. So I will have an announcement on my Backstage Pass membership tomorrow. So be sure to join. If you haven't followed me on Ko-fi yet, I am transitioning my digitals to Ko-fi. So make sure you follow me over on Ko-fi. You'll have all the links and everything in the description box of the YouTube video. So be sure to follow me there. And then follow me on YouTube as well. Hey, Curly. Follow me on YouTube as well, so you can join our Sunday afternoon crafting. And we will be talking a little bit more about the Backstage Pass. I'm not sure if we'll do any crafting tomorrow. We'll see, because I might be all crafted out. I'm a little stressed right now. If I don't look stressed, I'm a little stressed over the whole video technology thing. But hopefully I will cool my jets and calm down a minute here. That's why we're chatting, just to lower my blood pressure and see if we can have some fun. So I don't know if I'll be up to making something tomorrow. Chances are I probably will. Maybe something small, I don't know. But mostly I want to talk to you all about my Backstage Pass. So yeah, let's go ahead and transition the camera. Fingers crossed, everybody. Transition. It looks like it's live to me. Oh boy. I'm afraid to move my camera, but we're going to give it a shot here. And it looks like my overhead is working. Ah, yes. Deep breaths in, release out. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Monica Taylor. Most of you do know me. I'm a vintage inspired crafter. I also have a website where I create digitals and lots of stuff. These are digitals in my shop. So if you guys, the whole kit is not in my shop, but the kit is available over on my website, Taylormadecards4u.com. I have 4 kits left. If you want to play along, for those of you that bought the kit, you should have gotten a nice little bag like this with all sorts of goodies, right? So we're going to go ahead and pull all of our stuff out. I might have more than you do because I have the originals, of course, but you can check out what I have over on my website. So this is an accordion book journal. If you've never made an accordion book journal, they're actually pretty cool. They open up really nicely. They're beautiful, actually. And then it, of course, accordion folds back, and then you can flip it over. And it is designed on the back side as well. Lots and lots of pages to decorate. It's a really fun design. I think it's probably one of my favorites. So that's what we're going to make today. In your kit, you should have gotten 2 of these. These are your front and your back. All right. You also should have gotten some paper, printed paper that you would have cut out. These are going to be your panels that we're going to use to cover those tags, y'all. And then you also got steampunk paper. You should have gotten a whole package of it. We're going to use for our pockets and whatnot. Again, I do have 4 kits left in the class, so if you want them, grab them. 4 kits left in the shop. So, got all my digitals here. I cut out some of them. These are the little characters. You can choose which character you want to play with. I think I cut out the 2 I was going to use, but we'll see. We'll see if I did or not. And then, of course, you've got little ATC cards, all sorts of things in this kit. It's a really, really fun kit. You also got some of these stickers. I didn't give you the whole kit. I have one more of these in the shop, but one left, I believe. So, all right. So you have your little peoples, and you got all sorts of little elements. In your little bag, you've got metal elements, you've got frames, all sorts of stuff, guys. All right, so the first thing we want to do is get organized. That's number 1. And then the second thing we want to do is we want to cover our tags. So you also should have gotten some steampunk remnant rubs. Love these. So those are really fun. And then, of course, all my ones I didn't fussy cut, but we'll see what we need. All right, are we ready to get going here? I think I am. These were the little freebies. So if you are a Backstage Pass holder and did not get these, I'll get them to you. Just send me an email or I'll make it available for you in the shop. We'll see. We'll figure it out. All right. Let's get going. So in your kit, like I said, you got these. The first thing we want to do, I want to keep this so you guys can see this. All right, there we go. The first thing you want to do is you want to add your cover on top. So this is the one you want to use. On my prototype, I actually fussy cut these, but I don't like how these are bending, so I made it part of the digital. So what you want to do is you want to get your glue and whatnot. If you put this edge right on the edge, and then this will be your extra on this side. All right, so you want to glue this. Let's see. God, my heart is racing, guys. I don't like when things don't work. So, I should have gotten a new glue bottle. Okay. All right. Now, as you see here, you have a metal element here. I glue mine down. I don't put it through the paper because it kind of makes it bumpy a little bit. But if you want to take your metal element and add it before you glue it, you can do that. I typically just glue my metal element. So let me make a little bit of an adjustment here, get it lined up perfectly. You guys just give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. I'm a little concerned about my internet, so just let me know occasionally. Throw out comments out there so that way I know that we're still good and you're still with me. Otherwise, I will keep talking and I probably will be frozen. So just help out a girl here, would you? Alright, so let me go ahead and see if I can find my straight blade. Alright, thanks Kim. Alright, So once you have this glued, you can use scissors. I just got my straight blade here. And then I like to use my sander to just get any extra off. Can you guys hear Max in the background? He's making noises. Alright, so got that straightened, and then again, just cut this down. And then you can always, like I said, just use your... Thanks, Kim. I appreciate you. Alright, so just going to sand that down, just trying to make it plush. And then, of course, you know, if you have some distressed ink, I like to use walnut stain. You can, you know, add that to the edges, of course. Yes, on my wood floor. Alright, so adding my walnut stain just to, especially if you sanded, you want to get all that white stuff off. Alright, there we go. So once you have this glued, you're on your way. Now, don't glue your backside yet because we have to add our panel. Okay? I'm eating my sourdough bread, guys. It's a very professional class here. Alright. You should have gotten 2 of these panels. It might be a little different from the way I cut them. But what you're going to want to do is take your panels and glue them together. Alright? Now, you don't want to, you know, glue it where you're taking up a lot of the paper. But you do want to glue it enough where it's going to stick, right? Yes, no gluing your backside. Thanks, Kim. Alright, so just kind of glue this together to create a big panel. Alright. And then in your kit, you should have gotten another piece, right? It might not look exactly like this, but it's another piece. Because we didn't need a full panel, but we did need a little extra. So I gave you that little extra in your kit, and you want to glue that as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn mine over. Again, yours may not look like mine, but you're going to have a 6x6, I want to say, and you're going to glue that as well, okay, because we need just a little extra, little something something. Let's see, let's stay consistent with the way that we glue here. Okay. All right. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just gluing the extra piece. Now, if it's a little off, it looks like mine is a little off, don't sweat it because we're going to be doing some tearing. Alright, we just want to make sure this is nice and together before we start tearing it. I mean, as you can see, you know, my pages are a lot smaller than this. But, my little elements fell out. But, we're going to tear it. Alright, so once you have both of these glued together, you should just have a long strip, right? Okay, so you're ready to go. Now, your page needs to be smaller than your tag. So, let me get a ruler. Do I have a ruler handy? Probably not. I have everything on my desk but what I need. This is about, how tall is this? I don't know. Your paper, well, we'll figure it out. It's this size, and this is what you started with. I don't have a ruler on my desk. So what you want to do once you have these glued together is you want to tear. So I like tearing back, okay? Because then you don't have that white stuff. But keep in mind, this is an accordion journal, so you are going to still have to deal with it. But let's just start out with it not being there. So once you get it going, just do, I don't know, do this much, okay? And then we'll take the excess off on the other side. So, you know, be careful. Don't get too rambunctious. You want it to be not exactly the same. So I've got these peaks and these troughs. That's what you want, all right? So I'm going to tear this all the way through. That's where I glued it, so it's a little bit harder there because I got double paper. No problem. Kim, my commenter, are we still good? What are we doing now? We are tearing our paper. You can go ahead and comment on what we're doing as we go along, Kim, if you'd like to. We are now tearing the top of our paper. All right. Now these projects aren't meant to be created in an hour. A lot of times, and keep in mind, you can incorporate this design into many types of themes. But these, typically when I make projects like this, I do them in stages. I don't do them all in one sitting. The base of the book, which is what we're doing right now, is typically what I'll do first. And then thanks, Carlene. And then the decorating is the part that I love. Now, this is me. I save. You're moving downstairs. Come on, Kim, you're my commenter. I save these scraps until I'm done with my project. I never know what I'm going to need. I know that's ridiculous, you guys, but that's just me. That's what I do. All right, so you've got your first part torn. But look, it's still bigger than what you want, right? And what you can do, obviously you don't have a book to compare it to, but take your tag and use that as your measurement. You want your top part of your tag, or your book, excuse me, to come about, I don't know, about right there, right? So that's where you want it to start. And then you want it to end, you know, just like a ½ inch above. So you can work with that. So what you can do is you can kind of make a little jot for yourself, right? You want it to end about right somewhere around there. So using your tag, you can kind of prompt yourself, but it's not going to be exactly even, and that's okay. You know, that's entirely okay. Oops. So when you start, I lost my mark. Let's see, go start around there. Did I lose my mark? Is it on the other side? Yeah, Carlene, I get it. Sometimes it's easier to make after the fact. Alright, so here is, oh, it didn't mark for me. Okay, so here's that, and then you just want a little mark to kind of prompt you where you want to start tearing. Alright, thanks, Lords. Nice to see you. Alright, so I've made my mark where I want to start tearing, and again, I like to tear away because I get that white stuff, but we're going to have to ink it up. So I started it here. Trying to get, I'm discombobulated. All right. And then just start, just like we were doing, just start tearing. Right? You don't want it perfect. If it's perfect, it's not a junk journal. I should have started on the other side because I'm right-handed. All right, there we go. There we go. Let's make sure that's about what we want. Yeah, that looks good, right? All right, so here we go. Here we go. Now we're moving and grooving. We are tearing our paper. And I know some of you probably cringe when I tear beautiful paper. But keep in mind, the beauty is in the finished product, or project, I should say. So don't get too hung up on tearing things. I mean, we're going for the grunge look. And to me, torn edges go perfectly with grunge. So don't get too concerned about tearing beautiful paper. And that's what's good about digitals as well, is if you mess up on a digital paper, you can always reprint. I know that's part of probably what we stress out about on Tim Holtz stuff. And that's what's nice about digital. All right. So when you finish, you're going to have something like this. Isn't that beautiful? All right. Now is when we want to start gluing. So we want to glue this paper underneath before we cover our tag. And that's why I said don't glue your paper here. All right, so we're going to, this is going to be the inside. Let's try to get organized here. You're going to glue your paper not all the way to the end necessarily, because we want to make sure we have enough for our folds. But enough where it's going to definitely stay put, right? So figure if you want to, I mean, sometimes it's nice to make a little mark so you know what you're doing, right? So we're going to glue on this side. Oh, look at that. My paper's perfect. Figure out exactly where you're going to glue to. It's actually a little bit more. Mine's going to be over here. And then, you know, you don't have to glue all the way to the edge, but close to it where you're going to get, you know, a secure paper. All right. Does anybody have any questions on what I'm doing so far? So far, pretty easy, right? So let's put this here, right? I'm looking at my paper and it's upside down. So let's try this again. Let's try this again. There we go. If you want your paper obviously going in a certain direction, pay attention to that. Don't pull a Monica. Alright. Make a little adjustment. That's what's nice about wet glue. Yeah, you could score them ahead of time, but I don't score. I just fold, Kim. But certainly you could. I like to eyeball it to make sure I have it exactly where I want it. If I score it, I'm committed. So that's why I don't do it. But, you know, you gotta do what works for you. Once you score it, you're committed. And I'm against committal. So let's just put a little bit more glue here. right? Non-committal. That way I can adjust as I need to go. Alright, so now that we have that glued down, what we do want to do before we get too far ahead of us is if you have some sort of ink, you know, I don't need to do that, I'm going to cover that, but you know, we have some white going on, right? So, you know, I would probably do this first before we start adding things, just to take away the white. So get your ink. I'm using walnut stain. Just take away the white. If you see white, you need to grunge it up. All right. Is everybody good so far? As a reminder, if you have not purchased this kit, 4 are left in the shop. Alright. Okay. So just add in my ink here, and we can always come back in and add more later, right? I don't recommend doing that. Sometimes I like to try things and get ink all over your desk. All right, here we go. Now we've got our front. Now what we want to do is our other side. So turn it over where your image is going the right way. You don't want to put this upside down. And then I used this piece here. You guys can use whatever pieces you want. So do what makes you happy, you guys. All right. I'm using this piece here. So let me, and I'm going to match it up obviously to the edge here. If you don't want to cut into this, if you want it to be exactly even, then you may have to do a little trimming. You know, as you can see here, I've got a little edging, so I don't want to cut too far into my clocks. I'm going to trim this out just a little bit, right? Not too much where you don't have enough to cover your tag, but just a little bit, because I know I'm going to have to trim here. And then that way I'm not going too far into my clock. I could trim a little bit more, but I don't trust myself, so I'm not going to do that. All right. Now we can add this part. Okay. Is everybody good so far? Any questions? Like I said, we're making the structure of the book, which typically is the most boring part in my opinion, but it's got to be done. Alright, so we're just going to line this up, just so. Give it a minute to dry. Alright. Give her a minute. Yes. Me too, Kim. Me too. Alright, I think it's dry enough for us to do what we need to do, right? So you want to cut off the excess. If you have an X-Acto knife, it's pretty easy. Use your scissors, of course. Whatever you are comfortable with. who works with X-Acto knives? Do you like them? I like them. Sometimes the scissors with your books like this, scissors are too hard to get in, but not everybody likes working with X-Acto knives. All right, we're gonna add some ink to that. Don't sweat. Actually, I want to, where is my sander? Over a little bit. Alright. Now when you get to the end, if you want to, I mean you can add, just go right in with your ink pad if you want to. There you go. So that's the inside. Now, I don't know if this is just me or if it happened to the rest of you guys, but you see where I have a little bit of my board showing? This is why I keep scraps. So if for any reason I didn't cut straight or there was a problem, I can cover it if I want to, or you can ink it. You know, there's a lot of ways. If you don't like that, you have paper here that you can add a little bit to. I'm not going to worry about it right now because as I decorate, I might solve that problem, but that's why I keep scraps. All right, so we've got our cover. I'm going to try to show you how to do this here. So, let's see here. I did this backwards. So, let me show you this. Okay. Here's your book, you guys. The fold is in. So, I can do one of two things. I can make this. Your first fold is in. Try to explain to you what I'm doing here. So this should have been on this side, and this should have been on this side. I'm not sweating it. You're going to get the idea when you put it together. So this can either be my back. Just bear with me a second here. That's what happens when we're going live, right? All right, so yeah, it's the same way. So this could be your back. So I'm not sweating it. I'm gonna have this as my back side, and then this will be my front. So it opens that way. It's the same thing, really. I mean, except your pages would be switched. What did I use to make the long strip? The long strip. Is this what you're talking about? This is the torn paper that we tore off. Alright. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold so you have enough left over. Alright? Because we're going to put little screws there. So if you have you know, a score, that would be nice. You just want enough to be able to, you know, put screws there. And if you need to, These are your screws. I mean, you can kind of guesstimate a little bit, right? It can go under a little bit too, but just, and if you can do it straight, that would be helpful. All right. So on your edge, you just want enough to be hanging over, right? And then once you have your first score, and this is what I was talking about, Kim. Let's see, I want this to be the outside. Yeah, we're going to do it. Thinking. That's fine. Once you have your first fold, then just kind of keep the long part of the book. The long part of the book. This. I'm not following you, Delina. So this is paper in the kit. And then you're going to fold this over, right? Making sure you have enough on the sides. So that's really, you just want to make sure you have folding on both sides. Foldings on both sides, all right? So there's that. All right. Oh, the strip is what you're talking about. That's the folds. I think I just answered your question, Delina. When you fold, you get that strip. All right. And then from here, you just kind of keep zigzagging it. Now you have an eye. You can eyeball it to see exactly, you know, how far over you need to go. Okay, now the part you took the strip off, the top and bottom, did you just glue the papers together? Yeah, I tore that strip and then I glue the paper. Yes, I did. You're going to have a 6x6, you're going to have a 6x12 and a 6x12. I glued them all together in a strip is what I did. All right. Yes, the long strip. Okay. See? And then fold again. You're just going to make your accordion, right? And then accordion again. Is everybody with me on this? Trying to keep her straight. Alright, so there's pretty much your accordion. Now we want to put, so this is going to be our front here, and that's going to be our back. Now you want to do your last fold, alright. And Kim, this is why I don't use the scoreboard, because I kind of, you know, have to fill it out here. All right, so mine is backwards. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So the back here is another tag. Let's see where it is. Where is my other? All right, so this is going to be here. All right, I know I want this on the outside. All right, so The pages are bigger than the cover. Yes, they are. All right. Because you see, here's your tag, and here's your edges. See? Okay. All right. Now that you have your accordion, and again, your pages don't have to be perfect. Sometimes I fuss a little bit too much, and then I don't follow my own rules. They don't have to be perfect. This is, again, a junk book. Just, you guys, don't sweat it. Just don't sweat it. All right, so let's glue this down. All right. I'm going to need to get a new glue bottle. Remember, crafting and journal books and junk journals, it's meant to be fun. Technology is not fun. That's why I get stressed out about it. But crafting, I'm very relaxed now. I'm in my zone. Crafting is meant to be fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, people, I see so many people stress about perfection. And to me, perfection is overrated. Perfection is stressful. Perfection is what your boss wants you to be when you're at work. This is not work. This is fun. So don't stress out if your pages aren't exactly straight. You know, just the joy is in the creating. Keep that in mind. All right. Let's see if we can cut through this paper here. Yes. So kind of stressful when technology does not work. All right. And typically it's a user error with me. All right. So here we go. Hope I didn't cut that too short. I think I'm okay. All right, getting my sander, sanding it down. Okay. All right, getting my walnut stain, inking her up. Let's get rid of that white spots. We don't like seeing white spaces. At least I don't. Okay. All right. There we go. Ta-da! All right. So this is going to be, let's talk about this. This is your top, right? So we're going to glue this here, leaving a little extra, of course. The best way, this is what I would say about this. The best way to glue this down is to match it up with your top, all right? So you know, where's my little pen? You know you're going to glue inside that line. All right, so this is important, guys. So you want your pages, obviously your front and your back, to be lined up. You don't want to glue it like this. You don't want to glue it like this. So this is where you want to be slow your roll, kind of slow down. Make sure when you glue this down, you are lined up with your top. And that's why I put the top first. I mean, I could have did on the folds and all that goodness, but you need to make sure your front and your back is lined up. Does that make sense? Or is that just obvious And I'm just stating the obvious here. All right. Now, let's see if I can follow my own directions. I'm going to line this up. Yeah. Give that a minute to dry. Okay. Now here's what I was saying about doing it opposite. Your book, make sure you don't glue your book shut. Your book, oh, maybe I am all right actually. Let me see. How can I do this? Hold on. See, I'm making this up as I go along, guys. So this goes, this is my inside. No, that's my outside. You guys have to stay with me. See, when I'm alone, I can talk this through on my own, but I'm not alone here. Okay, so that's that. But I want to fold it like that. So I want to, this is what I want to do. I want my book to open like that. So let's just do a refold here. But I want that to be my outside. Alright, so if it was like this, it would be like this. And then like this. So you guys get to watch me through my thought process here. I mean, at the end of the day, you want them to line up. It doesn't really matter what your backsplash is. My backsplash is going to be different than yours maybe, but just make note of that. This is going to be my backside, I guess. That's going to be my inside. I mean, you're going to be covering it, so it probably doesn't make a difference, but make note what I've done here. So, I mean, I could have it open. Once you have it folded, you can figure out what you want where. I'm just doing it differently. I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. So, I mean, I guess your book could open like this. I don't like that though. I like it to open like this. So, we're going to do this. Alright, so this is going to be my front. This is how it's going to open. This is my back, and this is going to go here. So, long story short, you know, just kind of keep note on how it opens. You want it to open this way, so just be mindful with, you know, how you're gluing. Alright, here we go. So this is going to be my back, whereas in here, I had a little bit different. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, so let's glue this down. Alright. So let's go ahead and add our glue. Okay. Lots of glue. This is going to go like this, right? Let's make sure you're lined up to your edge. Did I just confuse everybody? I hope not. There we go. Alright, so let's let that dry. So in the end, this is going to be my front, which I actually kind of like. Alright, and let's I'm like, oh my god, why isn't that showing? But I haven't cut that off yet. Whew. Yeah, exactly, Kim. Your pages don't have to exactly match mine. And I'm kind of actually, I meant to do it, right? But I'm kind of glad that they're not exactly the same, because I probably will be selling one of my books. Or both of them. I haven't decided yet. I got extra. I mean, to me, the joy is in the creation. But if they were exactly the same, then when I put it in my shop, you wouldn't have a choice. So, let's cut that. All right. And then, but hopefully you got the concept down, right? And like I said, you can make these accordion books with any theme in mind. So let's cut this. Let's make sure it's lined up. I know, right, Kim? I have another one that my husband was giving me a lecture this morning about how messy my room is, so I think I'm going to have to... He was in here trying to, fix my internet, and he's like, how can I fix anything underneath your desk when you have all these craft supplies underneath your desk? So it might be time for me to clean my desk. All right, there we go. There's the structure of our book, you guys. All right. So now, of course, get your walnut stain, your vintage photo, whatever you have, wherever you've, cut your X-Acto knives, paper, just get rid of all the little extra paper snippets and add your ink. Okay. See all that white right there? We want to get rid of that. Let's do this first. Okay, so there's your book, you guys. This is how it opens up, right? And then when you flip it over, this is how it opens up. So you can decide, I mean, you have two fronts as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this could be your front or this can be your front. Whatever you choose to be your front, that's typically where you're going to put your metal elements. So you're going to need to make a decision. So I guess I'm going to need to make a decision. I like this. Well, it's the same, Monica. It doesn't matter. But I think I'm going to make the... it doesn't matter. I think I'll make... I keep saying it doesn't matter, but obviously it matters to me because I keep saying that. If I use her as my focal here, she kind of blends in with the turquoise, right? I haven't really decided, but this is where you want to choose what your people are going to be. Your people. These are your people. You guys got lots of choices. Love this one. I love her little zigzag here on her little outfit. So I think I'm going to make her my focal in front. So you guys have lots of little elements here, right? Whatever steampunk girl you choose to use. Let me get rid of some of this white stuff here. I mean, I think any of the images would work, right? Just choose your poison. Choose your steampunk girl. I'm just getting rid of some of the whiteness here. Alright, I think I'm going to go with her, you guys. So, line her up. You're going to want to figure out, you don't have to glue these yet, but figure out, where your little elements are going to go. You might want to Again, I typically do these last, but for purposes of gluing, you know, keep in mind I glued over her. She's a little bit longer than this one is, but kind of use your metal elements to figure out, you know, where to line this up. So I think that's good. Right about there. So let me, before I do that though, these attach, right? So let's look at some of our digitals. Don't get too rambunctious here. I don't know if I cut everything out. So this is where it could be a personal preference. All right, if you don't want to put, you're going to design your cover essentially right now is what you're going to do. So let me look through my stuff, see what I have. Sometimes it's not the best idea to cut it out ahead of time, but oh well. That's the big one. That's not it. I don't even know if I gave you guys the little one. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. Alright. Let's see what I got here. Got two big ones. Alright, we're going to come back to that. So that's going to be, I'm going to just put a little glue in the middle because I might stick things underneath. When you don't know about your layering, this is a good technique. Just put the glue right in the middle so you can stick things underneath. Alright, so that way I can still, if I decide to add things underneath, I can still do that. Alright, but that's just a sitting place for now. Alright, and again, I don't know everything I have here, so I have to kind of dig through it. Alright, so one of the things you're going to do here is you're going to put these on the edge. Alright, so I didn't cut these out ahead of time, but I'm only going to put like one or two, and then you guys will get the idea. So these are small little buggers, but they look like screws, which is what we want. Alright, so cut these out. And then add your, walnut stain so it doesn't show all the white or whatever you're using. And then this goes right here. Okay? So you might have to stick it under a little bit, not a big deal, but that's where these go. So the way that I would do these is I would figure out where you want the top one to be, figure out where you want the bottom one to be, and then put the other two in the middle. Alright. Kim, are we still good? I'm not frozen, am I? Alright. I'm concentrating. Alright. So, still good. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so figure out your top one, figure out your bottom one. And then the other two will go in the middle. See, I mean, this is even a little bit wonky, but I don't care. Alright, so your other two screws will go right in the middle, but we're going to kind of move along here. I got to see what I have to play with. Alright. Because I might not have everything out that I gave you guys. But we're gonna make the pages. Alright, so you're going to have steampunk girls throughout. Here, you have a long strip. It doesn't have to be the same one I use. Keep that in mind, you guys, as I go through this. And then we're going to have a long strip here. So that's this one right here. This is going to go here. Right? So let's, and this is a tuck. Let's see if you can see what I'm talking about here. This is a tuck. So on this page here, let's go ahead and create our tuck. Alright, so let's make sure this is right side up. Yep. And then this is going to be a tuck, so don't glue this part. Glue the edge here. Okay. Alright, and that's going to go right there. Right on the edge. Okay. Perfect. And then that'll be a little tuck for you. All right. This, let's see what else we have here. And I might jump around based on how I find my items. Because again, I may not have printed everything out, which probably wasn't very smart, but you know, I never said I was the smartest crafter. All right, let's see what I have. I was so stressed about the Wi-Fi not working, and let's get our little girls out of the way. Let's see what I got here. Secrets. And I may have given you more than you need. All right, I'm going to use this. This is going to go right here because it fits. Let's see if I'm going to use that secret somewhere else. That doesn't look like it. All right. So this is going to go here. And cut this out. And it is, make sure I'm not lying here. I want to say it is a little bit, no, it's not a pocket. But if you wanted to make it into a pocket, you could, right? Completely up to you. Okay, and, all right. Get rid of some of this white here. Alright, so this, again, if you wanted to make it into a pocket, you could. I didn't. I just did it as an element. And then I have my little steampunk girl. So I'm going to just glue this down. Okay. And then in your bag, you should have little screws. Oh gosh, this is dangerous dumping this stuff out because I'm going to lose it. But let's see if we can figure this out. Alright, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 4, right? So I put these little metal screws in your kit for you. Because of course, what is a steampunk book without metal elements? Okay. These are small, you guys. Alright. So there's a couple of metal elements there. We'll give them a minute to dry. And then we need a gal here. Let's see. She looks pretty good. Let me get rid of some of this white here. I have loose screws. Well, the idea is not to have loose screws, so glue them down well. Alright. Just get rid of some of this white stuff here. Alright. Okay, so this will go right here, you guys. Again, choose whatever characters you want. Alright. And this will go right here. Looks good. Now what I like to do after, and I'll do this after, is I take my Mod Podge and I go over my items. I'm not going to do that now because I usually do that at the end. But that is what I do. Alright. So, there is our first page cover, I should say. And then the next one is our little tuck. You have some of these cute little items here that I gave you that you can tuck in. Let's just put this in real quick. Alright, so this is just, I wanted to show you, this is a little tuck right here that you can put stuff in. Alright? So that's pretty much your first page. We're going to decorate. If you want to decorate as we go, we can. Or just do each page. So these are what I use to decorate. I'm going to kind of establish the pages first, and then we'll come back and we'll add these. Alright. Second page. So this is where your paper comes into play, because we're going to make another pocket here, you guys. Alright. So you can use this paper that was in your kit, any page you want. It doesn't have to be a specific one. They all have cogs on them and steampunk. It's pretty good little set. I gotcha. All right, so this is going to be a page. So really, again, eyeball it. It's going to be about, I don't know, about 3 inches tall, I guess, maybe? Yeah, about 3 inches tall. And you want to, I mean, if you feel better about cutting it and tearing it, then what I would say is cut it at 3 and a half, and then tear, right? So 3 and a half, if that makes you feel better. And then you're going to want to, again, a lot of tearing going on here, so just tear, right? These are not my digitals. No, I purchased these for the kit. Pretty cool though, aren't they? Sometimes for the kits, it makes more sense for me to source the product so I don't use up all my ink, because I want to give you guys lots of paper. Alright, so just check I mean, this is a little bit bigger than I want, so I'm going to cut off more, actually. Let's see. Alright, so that's good enough. And then cut off your edge. And then figure out what you need to do. Now, this is where you can cover up some of that white stuff, and that's why I wanted this. That's why I kind of want to figure out what's going to be your inside first, because the pockets tend to cover up some of that white. Let me get rid of this white here. I tore the wrong way, but it's not a big deal. Okay. All right. So this is going to be a pocket, okay? So here's what I would say. When you go over the edge, do your gluing on the actual base of the book, because if you glue the paper, you're going to come off the edge. So just be mindful of that. You want to put your glue on the bottom for the bottom part, and then you can put the glue on the side. Okay? Does that make sense? I just would hate for you guys to glue your page to the other page, which is what you would do. Alright, so I guess it would help if I don't make it upside down. So let's do that. Okay. There we go. Which I probably screwed up because now I have glue on the top. Be careful. Make sure I don't glue that shut, because I will. Alright. Add a little bit more glue. Alright. There we go. Better. Alright. And then let's check to make sure I didn't glue that shut, which I did not. Okay, so this is where you can start decorating, you know, your pages. Just put that right there for now. Secrets, you know, all sorts of little labels here. And you can always do this after the fact if you want to do the structure of your, you know, of your book. But this is where you can, you know, decorate your pages like that. So I'm going to come back to doing that. But this is where you can, you know, decorate up your pages. And then in your kit, again, you can do your remnant rubs and whatnot to decorate your pages. All right. So is everybody good? Any questions? Again, my goal today, because I don't know if I'll have enough time to decorate the whole book, is just to show you the structure, and then you guys can come back and decorate your own book. Okay. Alright, so that is a pocket. We'll leave that there. Alright, the next page is another pocket, and I'm using, I think I'm using this one. It's a bigger pocket. Alright, so again, if you're going off the edge for your pocket, make sure you don't glue the bottom of your pocket to your back page, because this is an accordion book, right? So start your glue. Start your glue here on the page at the bottom. And then you can do your sides. Make sure your paper is the right direction. Don't do what I do and do it the wrong direction. Alright, so we're going to, again, kind of figure out where we want this page to go and kind of structure it that way. Okay. All right. And then I added for my design a cluster I had in my stash. But you can decorate it however you want. All right, it just is another pocket. Okay, and then we're gonna come back and let's see if I have. I don't know if I printed out everything, guys. I almost feel like I didn't. Let's see. Unless I'm just hiding stuff here. We can put this up here. So, you know, you can put something up here, or you can use remnant rubs. There's a lot of ways you can decorate this. And once I finish mine, I'll show you my prototype. So when you come back through the replay and start doing your project, you can get ideas for your designs. All right, so there's that. And then, of course, it's a little pocket, and we'll add some decorations as we go along. Okay, next page. Now this page, because of this, I put an entire page on this. So kind of figure out, well, first what I would say is tear off the edge, because we know that's going to be torn, right? Book construction, yeah, you know, and I don't really struggle with the decorating. It tends to take me a little longer because I try out all different types of things, but that's why I'll definitely give you guys ideas. All right, so figure out how far you need to tear, right? And again, figure out what part of your paper you want showing. Okay, and then we'll do the top. And then figure out, you know, where your bottom's going to be. Now this, you don't want it hanging off the edge. You do want it to be on your paper. So kind of figure out, you know, how long your page is, depending on how much you tore off to begin with. And then tear accordingly, right? Okay, so this is going to go here. To go grab some more glue, I think. Okay. All right. And then this is going to go right. Make sure you get it on the page. Okay. And then if you need to, you know, add more glue underneath, you can come back and do that. Just like this here, you know, maybe I need a little bit more on the edge, right? I can hear all of my little metal elements moving all over. I'm going to lose them, I'm sure. All right. Is everybody good so far? you're going to have another pocket here. So if you want to, you know, do that, you can do that before we add our designing piece. I mean, we can do that right now, right? So just tear off, again, more tearing. Alright, and let's see. Like I said, you might have to come back and add a little glue here and there. Not a big deal. Let's figure out how long we need this to be. About right here, I guess. Lots of tearing in this book, guys. And then now we can tear off the bottom. Is everybody liking the project so far? Give me some hearts or some thumbs up if you're enjoying the project. Not too hard, right? Not too difficult. Just time consuming, but you know, when you're creating, it's not a race. It's, you know, if you're having a good time, you're not racing to finish, right? You are enjoying the process. So don't feel like you have to get it all done in one sitting. A lot of times I don't get mine done in one sitting, and that's okay. All right, so now this is where you can pull out these. And again, I think I gave you more product than I put in my book, so you would have choices. But you're going to want to choose one of your little characters, right? And if your characters aren't big enough based on what I gave you, you know, you can add some background paper and then put your character. So don't fret if you see some white space and you're like, mine doesn't fit. Like, well, just, you know, improvise and add some background paper. All right, so I'm going to get rid of some of that white that is showing through. It's definitely not a race to the finish, Kim. Absolutely not. All right, so let's put her together. Let's go ahead and add her. Okay. And figure out where you want her to be. Move her over a little bit. It doesn't have to be centered, right? But just do whatever you like. Okay, that's good enough, I think. Now, this is a pocket, guys. So when you go to glue down this, don't glue down the top, okay? All right. This is going to go right here. Okay. And now you have a little pocket, right, to put stuff in. And then this little gal, or this one, whichever one you want, you can put little pockets right there. Let's see, so So let's, and we're going to come back and decorate this page, but let's just get the structure together. All right. Backside. Choose another little character. How are we with time? We've been going, it's 12. We said, oh, we're okay. We might have to speed it up though. What or who do I want to use on this? Alright, so for this, I did put this element here. So you can use these, you know, pieces as backgrounds as well. Okay. Or if you like the background as it is, you can leave it as it is. That's fine too. Let's see. Now that you've got these little freebies that I gave you, if you want to incorporate those, you can certainly do that. I'm trying to decide who I want to use. Let's see. It's on my paper. Thinking about going with her. I like her too. She's a little bit, I think maybe I'll do this one. She's a little bit, or did I already use her? Which one did I use here? I did. I don't want to use the same one. I'm glad I caught that. All right, let's cut her out really quickly here. Time me on my fussy cutting, guys. Trying to get as little white as possible. And you don't need fancy paper to print. This is just on regular copy paper, if you can believe it or not. Typically I'll print out on bright white, but like I said, I was having issues with my printer because my husband unplugged it so he could attach me to the Ethernet. Alright, let's just get this cut. Trying to get as close to the edge as possible, but we will be adding some ink. And then don't forget, I said I use Mod Podge as well, which tints it just a bit because I've got that antique Mod Podge. Yeah, this particular image is just copy paper. It's very, very thin. I typically use paper that's good for digitals, but like I said, I ran out of, my printer was unplugged, so I had to do it upstairs, and it was just a whole thing. All right. Okay, so this can go right here, and then we can add our designs in just a bit. You know, I can do a better job than that. Really don't want a lot of white showing. Typically on my digitals I don't mind, or if I'm fussy cutting I don't mind if the white is showing, but for this book I really want to try to keep it at a minimum. I want it to blend in with my background. Sorry guys, I just know I can do a better job than that. Alright, I think that's good. Okay. Alright, so after I glue this down, we're going to take a quick stretch. It's hard for me to sit down this long. So, and then I'm going to grab some more glue. So just a minute or so. So I'm going to take a quick stretch here. Not leaving, I'm just getting up, stretching my bones, and I'm going to grab some more glue. The lid for this. Alright, and then now you're on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go through this side fairly quickly because I want to be able to get to some of these other decorating items before we run out of time. So this page here is another pocket. I gave you guys some authentic vintage tickets to stick in here, and that's what I have going in here. So let me find a little character. I'm just trying to think, if you wanted to, you could even put one of these in here with the background, but let's see who I have here. She's pretty good, right? Alright, so this is going to go here. Open up my glue. So again, let's go ahead and glue this character down. And then we'll leave it open as a pocket. Let that dry a minute so it doesn't stick on me. So this is going to go right here as a pocket, right? We'll give that a second to dry. Let's go ahead and, while this is drying, let's pull out our remnant rubs so I can show you kind of what I used these for. So as you can see, or as I'm going to show you, this is a remnant rub here, guys. So when you close it, you see part of the pipe. Also, on this side, I did put some more of these little screws, okay? So you're going to want to, you know, cut these out and put these on the edge. Let's just do one real quick so we can kind of get us going. So on both sides, the edge part has these little screws, okay? So kind of like what I did on the front, you know, do the top and the bottom, and then just center the other two in the middle. Okay, so there's one. Stop fussing with it, Monica. And then here's the second one. Circles are hard to fussy cut. I don't know if they are for you guys, but they sure are for me. Okay. All right. Ah, don't lose your screw. And then this will go here. All right, and then just, you know, spread them out. All right. So this is probably dry by now, but what I wanted to say is let's let's glue this down first. So with these remnant rubs, if you've never used remnant rubs, shame on you. But let me show you how to use these. Alright, so what I would recommend is cutting out the whole thing, and then you're going to have these pipes on a couple of places. You're going to have let's see, maybe I'm lying. I don't think I am, though. I thought I used them on a couple places, but anyway, figure out, you know, how long this is, and then just kind of cut accordingly. So about, I guess, let's see if I can do it this way. How do I have it? I'm trying to figure out how I have these. Yeah. So that is about right. I guess I can go to about right here. All right. And then you just take this off, okay? And then be careful when you lay it down, because once you put it down, it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick on you. So figure that out, and then once you're comfortable with the positioning, see, I wasn't completely comfortable, but it's too late. Once it's down, it's down. So make sure, and then usually I use a tool, which I don't know where it's at, something to rub this down, right? You can use your scoring tool that we had out earlier. Let's see if we can. You can use a closed pen. That works really well. Just whatever you can find, right? Just take your time, bring it up slowly, make sure that all your pieces are sticking. Okay. There you go. So this will just be part of your design. And then now we can kind of put this down for our pockets. Now if you want to, it looks like I also put more paper, so let's grab some paper to decorate this up a little bit. Which I think this is pretty good, right? This goes like this though. Let me find something sideways that I can use. see, again, use whichever you want. That's kind of cool looking. Maybe something like that. It's just going to be a pocket on this page, but let's decorate it a little bit, shall we? Now, if you want to, of course, you can decorate the page first and then add the remnant rub. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You know, just kind of figure it out. But I just wanted to show you, I did add a page onto this. So if you have any of your pages that are, you know, kind of plain, that's what the paper is for, is to be able to add a little bit more design elements to your pages. All right? So use, you know, whatever page of the paper I gave you if you want to, you know, add some design to your pages. I mean, you can also cut out some of the elements on these pages. I've done that before. If you only want maybe a piece of the design, there's nothing wrong with that either. All right. I should call this the tear project book, the tear paper project book. So there's a lot of tearing going on here. Let's tear this a little bit more. Alright, so yeah, we can just add this. Just a little bit more design element. Okay. Just like that. Maybe move it over a little bit. And then this is going to go right here. Okay. And then again, remember, this is a pocket. So don't glue the opening on top. Alright, we'll just put that right there. How's that? And then this is where I put these. Okay? So, you know, help it stick. Hold it down a minute maybe. Alright. And this gal's gonna go here, I want to say. Right? Or did I use a different one? Well, I guess we can use her. We're going to come back to that one though. Alright, so there's your pocket. Alright. And these little tickets is where I put these. Okay. And then your next page. Again, another pocket. Lots of little pockets going on these pages. Let's see. And if you want to, you know, if you don't want to use necessarily the, you know, the digital elements, you can make the pockets out of these like we did before. But let me see. Everything's getting covered here. Let me... So this one's going to go here. Alright, so just use, again, whatever element you want to. It doesn't have to be this particular one. This is not torn, it's just cut straight out. So this is going to go a little above, but let me show you something first before I do that. So you know we've been tearing pieces, and I said don't throw away, you know, don't throw away your scraps. And this is why. I like to, you see how this kind of comes up, which is perfectly fine, but if I want to maybe create just my page a little bit longer. I'm going to cut this. This is how I can use some of those scraps. Okay. Now I know this is sideways, but I just cut off that. I just cut off that writing, so you're not going to be able to tell that I have this sideways. Alright, but what you can do if you want your pages to be a little bit longer, maybe you don't want it to be a pocket necessarily, but you want it to be a little bit longer, this is where you can use some of these extra pieces. Okay. So I'm just going to add glue. Now remember, part of this is going to hang off the edge, so don't add your glue all the way to the bottom or else you're going to glue your book together. But just enough. And be mindful where you put your glue, please. Just enough to add a little bit of length to it, right? Just check it as you go. This actually was too long, so we can just cut some of this off. Not a big deal. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. And then I will re-round that corner. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, so that's how you can extend your page with some of your scraps. Alright, now let's get back to adding our pocket. So here's where our pocket's going to go. Again, it is a pocket. Don't glue the top side, or else it won't be a pocket. It will be a design element. We're going to put that right there. Okay? And then you can put, you know, your little knickknacks in there. All right, we have, I saw this earlier, this piece. I know I have it because I saw it. Hold on. I'm looking for this piece right here that we saw in the beginning when we started. Let's see. This goes here. This is going to go here, so we'll just pull that out so we're not looking for it. And then, there it is. Alright, here it is. Alright, this I put on top right there. So again, just a lot of, this is my favorite part of making these journals, is decorating them. You know, you can make several, no two have to be alike, just by different types of design choices you make. So lots of fun. Okay, alright, so that's just a design piece right there. Again, another pocket. Surprise, surprise, right? Now here, I kind of wanted to show you this. So we have paper. Hold on. See, you want to make sure it doesn't, you don't glue it. So let's fix this. Got to be careful, especially with an accordion book. If you have glue, you know, coming off on the other side, or paper's coming off on the other side, you can easily glue your pages together, so you have to be careful. Alright, so we have the other side of this page coming off of the edge, right here. So you can use that as part of your bottom. Okay? Does that make sense? And it's going to be a pocket, so I'm going to put glue here, right? And then I'm going to put glue here and here. Again, using the bottom of my page Yeah, you don't you don't want your pages glued together for sure. All right, now in your kit, I think I gave you a little slide, I want to say. Let's see, this could go right here. Let's see. Yeah, you should have a slide in there. I'm not going to put this together, but I just kind of want to show you. You can fold this in half, right? And you can put one of your little pieces in here. Okay, you might have to cut it down a bit depending on how you want it to show. If you don't mind it, I don't mind, you know, it being cut off like that, but that's what would go here. Okay, so in your kit you have a slide. Put your slide together, very easy, fold it in half, glue it, and then you can add one of your little ATC cards in there. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. All right, let's go. Next page. All right, this is where I have a little tuck, and the ephemera piece I used says secret. I thought I saw that. Let me see here. Let me see what paper I have. I have one that says today. That would work as well. Let me just see what I've got here. Secret, there it is. All right, so this, the way I did this here is I just put a little tuck, all right? And then I also, let me show you, created a little tuck here. So let me show you how I did that. And then we have a little tuck here as well that I put my little journal book in. So I took a piece of designer paper that was in your kit. Let's find something. And then what I did is I just kind of tore part of it off. So kind of came down like this, right? And then I just came kitty corner. So let me, not too far down, and then just kitty corner it. So something like that, you guys. Leave this edge, but you can tear this up here. Again, this is just another way to decorate your pages. If you don't want to do this, create a little tuck, you can just add designer paper. Not a big deal. This is just another idea I'm giving you. Okay? Okay, and then just put that right up there. This is going to be your background. All right? Now, with the rest of this paper, the bottom portion here, we're going to create just a little tuck, okay? So it's not going to be big. I am going to come farther across though. So let me see. Trying to decide how I want to do this. Let's come off a little bit farther. And it's going to go like this. This is what I'm aiming for here. Now, if you don't want to get this complicated with your pages, I just wanted another design element on mine. So, you know, if you want to have it a little bit more ziggity, you can, but I'm working off of the shape of this. Yeah, just another idea of how to, you know, decorate, design your pages. Alright, so something like that, right? And then, I don't know, maybe right here. Something like that. Alright. So this is going to go just like this. It is going to hang off the edge a little bit, so please be mindful of your glue. Be mindful of your glue. Glue the bottom of your page, not your paper, or else your pages are going to stick together. And we don't want that. That is not the goal. Alright, so I'm going to, see, I might have even put too much glue here. But we'll fix that. Turn your page over. Make sure you don't have glue, wet glue, right? And I'm going to cut that, so that's not going to be a problem. And I left that, yeah, so make sure I left that open. Let me just cut this. My hands are shaky. I have that a little, see, I would, if I were you, I would trim this up a little bit higher, so that way you can see the staggering a little bit more, because now I have this white space. But I'm going to, again, this is where your torn pieces come into play. You know, I can easily cover this if I wanted to, and I might. Let's see. Let's see what the back is of that. See this? I can add another layer if I wanted to, and that's probably the paper. So let's just do that just for the fun of it, right? I'm going to open this up. I'm going to add a little blue here and a little here. And let's use something different here. Maybe I'll go with this. No, we'll go with a different design. Lots of choices, lots of decisions. So I added that, and do a little glue there. So that's, you know, ideas and ways you can use some of the extra scraps. This is coming over a little bit. Just tear it or cut it. Alright. And then let's go back to what we were doing here. I think we were on this page here, right? Yep. So here's our staggered paper. And I put the little secret right here. So let's do that. This is something cool I was using, this one. And I kept this again as a little tuck, so just, you know, just keep the top open. Put that right there. And now, you know, little pieces can fit in here, just like that. And then also, you have, you know, room for more. So that's kind of the idea I had on that page. All right, is everybody good? I know that probably was a little bit more complicated than we're used to, but hopefully you guys got the idea. These are in my shop, these little inspector items. So if you guys want to use these to add to your journals, these are a lot of fun. Also, I have, in the past I've made these, you know, these vintage tapes. So if you have these, or if you have the ones Tim gave you, these are fun elements to add throughout as well. So you can, you know, add those. All right, so reminding you this is a little tuck right here that you can use. Right? All right, and then we're going to, let's see, we're going to create another little tuck. Let's see what I've used. You can either use an element or you can use the paper. I'm just looking at what I have here. 12. I want to use something standing up. Let me see what I have here. Maybe I'll use that. Alright, so I'm going to use this piece here. Basically you want something standing up, because this is where your little book is going to get tucked, okay? And then I do help it with the clip. Now this is just something in your kit. I colored it with paper, I added design. I'm not going to necessarily decorate this because I think we'll run out of time, but I want to I'll show you how it goes into the book. Alright, so let's first make sure we can find the right element. I think this one will work. If you want it a little bit longer, you can add this, which is what I think maybe what I'll do because I want it a little bit longer. So let's figure that out. I'm going to actually cut this. So you can use one of your elements or you can add some of the paper. This is 2 1/4 maybe, or let's go with 2 actually. Let me make sure that's going to fit. No, I want it to be at least, so this is 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2. I probably should go 2 1/2. I'm glad I rechecked that. Okay, so 2 1/2. So I'm going to cut just a little bit off. And then I'm going to cut show you what I end up here in a minute. We're going to cut this at 4 3/4. 4 3/4 is what I ended up with. All right. Now, this is going to just be glued right here. This is just going to be background because I want to cover this paper here. All right. You can tear this. Let's go ahead and tear this a bit just to match the design, right? Is everybody still good? I know y'all are probably listening intently, right? This is going to go here. So I'm thinking I won't tear the sides. Is everybody still good? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know y'all are still alive out there. So we'll do something like that. So this is going to be a decorative piece. So let's just glue this down. All right. Still good. Excellent. Thank you, Kim. All right. And that's just a decorative piece. Again, this is going to be a tuck. So the only part you're going to glue here is this. All right. And again, any of these design ideas you can use on any of your pages. All right. It doesn't necessarily have to match what I'm doing. So just, be aware. I'm giving you ideas for your pages. You don't have to copy mine exactly. Make it your own. All right. Just trying to straighten that up. All right, so this again is going to be a little tuck, right? And then the little clip I gave you helps to kind of keep it secure. So otherwise it probably would fall out, and you don't want that. But this little clip will help it stay in place, and that's what that clip is for. All right, so again, this is in your kit. And all you need to do is just decorate it up, and then that's just part of what goes into your tuck. All right. So there is that. All right. Where are we at? We are almost at the end, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much all the pages decorated as far as paper. Let's get out our remnant rubs to finalize this puppy. Let's see, so you guys got a clip in your kit? Kim, you got a question? Or are you just saying hi? This clip I put at the front right here, all right? And then you also have a metal element that I put down here. Now you have these little brads that I think I included. If not, probably have those in your stash. Of course, I don't know where mine are right now. This is going to go here, so let me just put that there. And then, of course, you have your little cogs that go right here. So we can, this is the front of your book. All right. And put your little cogs here. So let's do that. Just hi. Okay. Hello. And you can just glue these down. These glue pretty solidly. But just make sure you give them a minute to dry. Like anything, I mean, these metal elements are a little bit heavier, so they are going to need a minute to dry. But just place them. Okay. And that's going to go on the front of your book. And then, like I said, you're going to have this here that will go, right here somewhere. This is what I do when I glue them. I get my brads and I just faux put them in there. Fake, right? Just make sure that doesn't show. And I don't know where the other one is. I told you I would be losing my little items. Maybe it's still in here. Yeah. It's probably here on my desk. But anyway, get your little brads. And then it glues to the front of your page. Okay? So that's going to go like that. You're going to want to put the rest of your screws that are around here somewhere. See, my desk is a mess. Your screws, remember, don't forget to put your screws here. And then when you open it up, let's just do some decorations here. Okay, let's see. Was that my front, or was this my front? I guess this is my front now. Yeah, all right. So this is my front. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Another girl goes here. Right, so just, I'm not going to take the time to fussy cut her, but you're going to want to put another girl here, right? Looks good. And let's see, remnant rubs. So I put, let's go over here. I put remnant rubs throughout. So on this particular page here, see, I think this was my front, y'all. But this is going to be my front now. It's not a big deal. Of course, I get hung up on it. The remnant rubs that I put some on this page. So the ones I put here, I'm just going to show you what I did for ideas, right? So we've got this one right here, and I designed them based on specific pages, so that's why I'm jumping around. Alright, so this is going to go right here. Alright, again, we used these before. Just goes right on your page. Okay, and if you need to, you know, straighten it out to make it work better, you can. Let me get that clip off. Alright. This is what I use for my remnant rubs. I just saw it on my desk. It's a stylist. Okay. Have y'all used remnant rubs before? Just make sure that's good. Alright, so that was that right there. And let's see, what else did I have? Let's see, these here. And this, so this right here, I did at the bottom. So this one here, right? And this would go like this. Had to figure out my positioning. Alright, so that'll go like right here, right? Okay. Okay. Let's see. I think that's all I had there. And then you have, of course, you know, you're going to have extra ephemera, and that's what your texts are for, is to put your ephemera pieces in there. It helps with the background design too. I mean, some of you might be wondering, well, why do we have these extra ephemera pieces in the text? Well, when you have your journal, it kind of helps with the layering design without committing to gluing these down. So you can change these up, and now you have, you know, little design elements. It just kind of works. Alright, so the next page here is this pocket. I have this little journal piece here that I put on, so let's do that. lot of people, it was interesting when I first got introduced to remnant rubs from Mr. Tim Holtz. A lot of people didn't use them, and I thought, wow, it's one of his better products, and I couldn't understand why they weren't being used, but that was me. All right. So that's just a little element I added. You also have some stickers that I included. If you want to add them for design element, you can. Completely up to you. This is your book. You add whatever you want. Everybody's kit's going to be a little different with regards to the stickers that you got. So, you know, don't fret if you don't find this particular one. It may not be part of your kit. But you can add these little elements if you so choose. All right. And let's see. All right. I'm gonna put a couple more cogs here. So the ones I used here, I used this one, and I used this one right here. All right. So let me cut these out. Use that one, and we'll use this one right here. Again, use whichever ones you want to. These are just what I did in my book. Just went right here. Just more design. If you want to add more, if you want to add less, you know, you can do whatever your heart desires. Good for you, Lords. That's great. And then this one will go here, right? Just to complement it. The mama and the baby cog. And then I think I put in your guys' kits some elements, some stickers. I don't know if I have any more here. But these were just extras I put in your kit from my stash. Yours are stickers, of course. So you can add stickers, you know, little elements. Just whatever you'd like. Again, it's your journal. I just tried to give you as much as possible to, you know, to decorate it. So we should do something like that. It's kind of cool. Ooh, that kind of matches. Now you'll have a sticker, you won't have this element, but I do have the whole set, one of these in the shop. If you guys are interested, I have one of these full sets, my last one in the shop. So it's there. So, and then, you know, if you want to add items, don't be afraid to, you know, tuck them underneath. It's part of the design. There you go. All right. And then, of course, you know, you got your little pocket. And if you have extra, I just saw these on my desk, if you have extra, you know, stickers or whatnot from your own stash, I mean, again, this is your book. You know, decorate it however you want to. You don't have to copy me. I'm just here to give you guys ideas. So if you have more elements or, you know, things in your own stash that you want to decorate with, by all means, add them. This is just going to be one of the pocket inserts. I guess I could use this one. I just wanted to show you. This was an insert right here. All right. So all we're doing right now is we're just decorating. That's all we're doing. All right. Okay. So this needs to be torn a little bit. See, that's what's nice about tearing, is if something's too big or whatever, just tear it a little bit more. All right. So we just did this page. Let's see. Let me just round my corners here. All right. And then, let's see. This I wanted to show you. We had made in some of my lives before, we had made some steampunk clusters. I'm trying to see if I still have any on my desk. I think I put them in my book, didn't I, you guys? Let me get down on my books. All right, so yeah, and some of my lives in the past, we've made clusters. You guys know what clusters are, right? So if you have a cluster, I don't know if I have one, I'm just kind of peeking. But if you have a cluster that would work as a design element, this is another idea to use your clusters, you guys. So if you wanted to add, see, this cluster is pretty big, but it would still work. I could easily add it right here. And then this would be my tuck. In fact, let's do that. That's what you use clusters for. So in all the lives where people say, what do you do with your clusters? They're design elements is what they are. So let me show you how I'm going to use this. So again, you want this to be part of your pocket. So I would say start gluing from here down, okay? So right here, right, we'll go on your back right here. And again, yeah, this is just design, okay? And then once that's dry, you can add, this is your pocket. So it's just a design element, but that's how I use my clusters. I put them in my books. So for all of y'all that have wondered, what do you do with those clusters? That's what I do. And then, you know, just add little tucks and whatnot. So that's going to need to dry. But yeah, that's just another design element. Okay. Let's see. Add a little bit more glue here. And then, if you wanted to add, you know, another cog here, you can. Just, you know, for more of a design, cover up some of that background, whatever you want. It's your journal, you guys. So You know, however you want to design it, it's up to you. All right. So let's do that. And then, you know, of course, it's a little pocket. And there you go. All right. Let's see, what else do I have to show you here? So, oops. Let's close this up here like that. That goes like that. All right. This page here. Didn't do much on this page. I just really kept it for, you know, tucks. So, you know, if you have long items, it can go here. So I didn't really do much on this page. This page, alright, this page is fun. So, got a lot of empty background here, so I used some of these elements here for that. Let's see. So we'll start with this one here. We are almost at the end, guys, so stick with me. Right now I'm just giving you guys design ideas. And then digging into my play stash here. Let's see. You know, if I wanted to do something like that, I could. Just trying to see here. As a background, again, these are part of my own stash, just giving you guys ideas on how to look through your stuff. And I do have one more of these kits available right now if you want to get some of this stuff. Just using it as a background element right now. I wonder, let me see. Ooh, wouldn't that be cute? Look at that, guys. Okay, so let's, I already pulled that off. Let's fussy cut this little chickadee here. So again, I'm repeating myself. I'm just giving you design ideas here. You decorate your book the way you want. Let me just fussy cut this. If you signed up for the class, you should have gotten these little cuties. If you are part of my Backstage Pass members, I'll make it available for you in the shop. I don't think I added it, but I will, or I'll email it to you. Because we have that big announcement tomorrow on updates for Backstage Pass. If you're not a Backstage Pass member, you can sign up at my website, and it gives you access to all the digitals in my shop as a member. I'll be talking about it more tomorrow because I'm changing it up just a bit, which I think you guys will like. But yeah, sign up if you want to be part of my Backstage Pass membership, and it gets you access to every digital in the shop. It also gives you really great access to me. I'd say y'all can, Backstage Passers, you email me anytime, and I am right there for you. All right. I think we have some Backstage Pass people in the class right now. So, okay, so let's figure out this little cutie. We're going to put her in here, right? Once she's stuck, she's stuck. And then, there we go. You know what, I think I'll cut this a little bit more. stick her right there. Right? That's cute. And let's see. Cute, right? Put that right there. We need to add brown to that. Look at all that white showing right there. And then let me just pull this up. There we go. And then let's do another cog, shall we? Maybe we'll do a little one. Let's see. I'll just put that right. I'll just put it, I think, right there. Nice. All right. I did want to show you. Some of you guys have bear with me here. Some of you guys have the, I don't have it handy, the book that has some of those rusty vintage stickers. Those would be really good for this as well. I don't have it readily available, or else I'd share it with you. But again, this is just a little tuck, right? And I think that's pretty good. But decorate it however you want, of course. You know, of course. And let's see, maybe we can put this. There. Why not? Why not? Okay. So yeah, that will, let's see, go like that, and then maybe not exactly like that. Let me fold this up for us. That's not right. This is the front. There we go. All right. And then when you go to the back, let's see, we have some. Did we decorate this already? Yeah, we did. This is what we just decorated, you guys. It flips over. Again, finish off putting your little screws here. Let me see what else I've got going on here for you. The little vintage stickers go here, or not stickers, but tickets. I think I gave you guys a couple. They go here. Right, you're gonna put your little character here, and I've got this all done, perfect. Let's see, I think I put, yeah, wherever you have your edge showing, you know, these are really great places for your remnant rubs. So I think I put, some more here. Oops, the round one is what I wanted. So these are really great for the corners, something like that. Okay. And let's see, what else did I do here? I also put this one, this little round doodad here. And remember, on your paper, you guys, you've got lots of great designs, so you can cut these out and put them to design the background as well. So don't forget about your paper. I know sometimes we forget about our paper as, you know, design elements, but you can cut up your paper. There's no rule saying you can't, so don't be afraid to do that. Okay. So that's, let's see, did I do anything else? I think that's all I did on that page. And over here, again, the edges are great places for your pipes. I guess these are pipes, right? So that, let's see if we can add another couple of cogs here. We are almost done, almost done. So this can go, you know, maybe right here. Something like that. And what else do we have? And then, of course, this page here, you guys, this is where your little book's gonna go. But I did add some decoration here. So let's put a few things here. Put that right here. And then I put a camera here. Let me see if I have one in my stash that I can use. That's perfect. Part of my stash. Let me just put this right there. Oops. Oh. Make sure it's on your page. And then this, again, this is, you know, this little book we put in here that you can make on your own. These little clips are small. Small clips. Small clips, fat fingers. All right, so that's what goes on that page. And then you're to the back. So that's pretty much it. I have some extra remnant rubs that I didn't use, but I will be adding them. I'm going to go back and figure it out. My remnant rubs will go, you know, mostly on the edges, the pipes, so we can see them. So I probably will stick, you know, one, I don't know, maybe I might put one right here, right? Just so we can see it on the edge. Let's do that right now. Because that's what I think those pipes are really good for, is the edge. So when you have your book closed, you can still see some design. And then, of course, you know, this is your little secret pocket right here. Alright, so that's pretty much it, you guys. Let's do a quick flip through of the one we created and then the one that I already had my prototype. So let's, yeah, these are both of my books. I have extra remnant rubs, but believe me, they will get used. But this is your book. So this was my prototype, and then this was the one that we did today. It's not completely finished, but I wanted to be able to show you everything. You know, I still need to add my little elements here, but you guys got the general idea. I need to add, you know, my little metal element, and then I still have a key I'm going to add. I'll show you where I put it in my book. When you open it up, I'm going to add my little person here. Again, wanted to get through everything, so didn't glue her down yet, but I will be. And a little let's see here if I can do this. There we go, side by side. You've got a, where are we at here? They might not exactly match, but yeah, so you got a pocket here. This is the one we did today, but again, another pocket to put things in. If you have extra digitals, which I'm sure you will, you're going to have extra supplies because I gave you lots of options. You know, this is a great place to house some of your extra ephemera, especially if you want to come back and make, you know, another book and use some of these elements. This page here was for the little slide, okay? And this is, on this one, this is where I put the key, but you can put the key anywhere you want. Just figure out, you know, where it fits. Some of your keys might be a little bit heavier than what I have right now, so I'll figure out where it needs to go. This is a little pocket, right? And it houses little pieces of ephemera. Let's see if I can find a little piece right now. So yeah, you can just put stuff in there. You also have this element here where we did the background and then we left this open for a pocket. Real fun. And then this is our your little book you're going to make on your own. Flip it over. You've got some metal element screws here. See, this is where I put my key, so I may put it here. I haven't decided yet, but I'll figure out where I'm going to put it. This is a tuck, right? So more of the embellishments we put on. Another pocket page, right? And then incorporating your clusters, right? This is one of my clusters, and then this was a cluster we added. Incorporating your clusters into your pages is always fun. Pocket for tickets, whatever you have to tuck. This is just another pocket here, right? When you're gluing, don't glue the top of your images. You'll be very sad about that. And then what else do we have here? Pockets we talked about. You can maybe even put something here if you wanted to. I might come back and put something, I don't know yet. But yeah, don't be shy about digging through your stash and seeing if there's things you can use. I probably will be digging through some of my stash and looking for more elements to add. But yeah, I mean, prior tickets that I might have made would be, perfect to add. You don't necessarily have to use what's in your kit, but this is where you can dig through all of your little ephemera pieces. That's why I love these little books, and I do have a video out there for this book. I made this little book to house your clusters and your ephemera pieces, because after I create, look at how cute that is. After I create journals, I go through my stash, my clusters and whatnot, and I add more pieces to this. And that's what's fun about these, is you can make them your own. But yeah, so I will finish up this book on my own, but you guys get the gist, right? You get the idea. So I hope, first of all, I want to say I apologize for my camera difficulties. I appreciate you guys coming back. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. You guys are very supportive of me and my channel, so I appreciate that. I love doing these free classes for you. The kits, yeah, I have 4 kits left in my shop. I will make sure I go back to the description box and link them, but I've got 4 kits left. And then I'm going to also be listing some of my extra elements, like, you know, more baggies of these. So if you guys want to use some of your own paper, you can do that as well. But it's really fun. So I'm glad that you guys stuck with me. Kim, thank you for being my moderator here. I appreciate you, girl. Join me tomorrow. If you want to, well, just not even if you want to hear my announcement, just join me tomorrow. We're going to have a little chat. Don't know if I'll make anything. I got to clean up this office. It's a disaster. So I'm going to work on that, and we'll see how I feel tomorrow. But I am going to go live at 3 o'clock like I normally do, and just have a little talk with you guys. Talk about some things that are going on and some changes that I'm making. But yeah, so I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday. And we'll see you tomorrow. All right, have fun creating, y'all. Bye.